What's up, I'm Brandon Lee, and this is a video about filming yourself with the DJI Pocket 3. So the big deal with the new Osmo Pocket 3 is the sensor. It has a 1-inch sensor, finally, which means that you get more dynamic range and better color and better low light performance than any other Osmo before it. Also, right now, I am not actively doing anything to keep myself properly framed. I'm using the auto track framing in the Pocket 3. If you're vlogging in a busy area like I am right now, and you can't constantly be looking at the screen to make sure that you're framed properly, this makes things a whole lot easier and actually safer, because now I can focus on where I'm going and on not hitting other people, instead of just focusing on trying to keep myself properly framed in the shot. There's also a new wireless mic that comes with the Pocket 3. It's basically a DJI mic, the same kind of microphone, but it automatically connects with the Pocket 3 as soon as you turn it on. And that's what I'm going to be using to record myself throughout this video. I'm using it right now, and it's right here under my shirt. So I don't have to do anything manual to get the audio working. I just power on the mic, power on the camera, and then they instantly see each other and the audio starts. And I even have a little display that shows me the audio levels as I'm talking, so I can make sure it's not too quiet, and I can also make sure that it's not peaking out. All right, I want to talk to you for a second about why the DJI Pocket series exists in the first place. Like, why did they even make these tiny cameras with gimbals? Why not just use stabilization like a phone or a GoPro built into the camera itself? Well, the reason why a gimbal is better overall is because you get natural motion blur along with your stabilized image, because you can maintain that cinematic shutter speed, the 1/50 or 180-degree shutter speed that filmmakers use to make the motion in movies look natural. When you use a faster shutter speed with a GoPro, with the phone, in order to stabilize the image, then you don't get this motion blur anymore, and that's what makes those shots tend to look kind of jittery. So for your shots to truly look cinematic, you need to not only shoot in the cinematic frame rate, 24p, but you also need the cinematic motion blur of the 180-degree shutter. And that's what we're getting right now. Let's talk about how to set up a symmetrical establishing shot. So let's say you have a nice view out of your window like I do here, and you want to have some sort of a shot where you are looking out the window, just like I'm doing right now. Now, what's going to make this extra special is I'm going to add a little bit of camera movement to this, even though I'm just filming myself. I got the Mimo app loaded up on my phone. This is DJI's app for previewing your Pocket 3's image, and you can also control the camera from the app. So now I'm just taking one finger and I'm dragging a frame around myself, and that green box means that it is now tracking my head. See that? This is active track. 3, 2, 1, action. Now I've got my wide angle lens on, and I'm about to demonstrate a camera move using the gimbal. So first I'm going to set my focus mode to single, and then I'm going to tap once on the background. This is to keep it from continually focusing during the shot. My gimbal mode is going to be set to tilt locked. We're on tilt locked for the gimbal. And now I'm just going to smoothly pull back and start moving. So now I've got the Osmo Pocket on a selfie stick, and I'm setting everything so that it's all manual, exposure manual, focus mode single, lock that focus just by tapping on the screen. And I'm going to set my gimbal to tilt lock mode, and then I just extend my selfie stick. And then rise up as I move back. All right, next up I'm gonna show you a little trick called Spinshot. This is something you've probably seen before, done with other gimbals, but it's actually really, really easy to do with the Pocket 3 because they have a built-in effect for it. So all you gotta do is touch on the left side of your LCD screen in the center, and then choose Spinshot from the menu. And then you go back to the main screen and you trigger it just by hitting the center of the joystick, or you can also press on the LCD screen to activate it. Either way, it's the same thing. And then it automatically starts spinning. And you just walk forward while it spins and you get this vortex inception kind of effect. Now, what makes this shot look even cooler is if you attach the wide angle lens. Another tip for doing Spinshot is to try to have some kind of vanishing point in your frame. So a vanishing point is the point on the horizon where all of your lines come together in the distance. This is a basic compositional thing. There's a vanishing point right behind me, right there. You want to have your vanishing point in the center of your frame so that as you walk forward and as it spins, there's a central focal point for the audience to focus their eyes on. So what if you want to do a little vlogging on the down low when you're at a restaurant? Well, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm at one of those conveyor belt sushi places, and I just sat alone at this table and I set up the Pocket 3. I've got my wireless mic recording my audio so I don't have to shout and I don't have to get that close to the lens, and I can just film myself. And as far as anybody else is concerned, I'm just talking to the wall. Here's a quick tip about framing. If you want to make a room look bigger, put the camera in the far corner of the room, as far back as you can. Right now I have the Osmo Pocket 3 propped up on a windowsill, and it's looking at me as I eat my French toast meal. And I'm seeing the entire room in the background. One reason this technique will work really well with an Osmo Pocket is because it is so tiny. It hardly takes up any space, so it's really easy to get shots like this. All right, I'm gonna eat. When I'm filming a city from a vehicle, I'm usually looking for interesting lighting and interesting architecture, and ideally, interesting lighting on interesting architecture. So in Hong Kong, because I've filmed here a lot, I know that there's a certain tram route that looks the best in the late afternoon, and that's the route that I'm on right now, going toward North Point. For the shots where I'm looking straight up the buildings, I'm putting the gimbal in tilt lock mode, and then I'm manually using the joystick to tilt it up as high as I want to see the top of the buildings, and then I'm just leaving it there. And what's really cool about the tram is that you get the other trams going by you at high speed like that. So you get these really exhilarating shots where the tram is getting really close to the camera as it whizzes by. All right, now I'm in TST, and this is a really touristy part of Hong Kong. This is where everybody goes to see the cityscape. So I'm about to film the harbor view at night. And you may think the best way to get this shot is to try to crop out all the other tourists and just get a clean shot, just the buildings and the water. But actually, that's not what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna include the people because it adds depth to the composition. So then it's not just a shot of the city, it's a shot of the people who are in the city. And that's something I always try to do when I'm shooting landmarks, is I always try to include people and culture somehow into the shot, even if it is just tourists taking selfies. So let's say you want part of your vlog to look like you have a camera operator on a tripod following you as you talk to the camera. Maybe you don't want everything to have that handheld vloggy look. Well, you can do this really easily with the Pocket 3 just by setting it up on a tripod, a monopod, or you can even just set it down on any flat surface. And then you use the active track to track your face like I'm doing right now. So that keeps me framed perfectly. And then for the audio, I have the DJI mic under my shirt. You can see the little magnetic clip here. So I've got the mic under my shirt capturing my audio perfectly, even if I step further back. And then I've got the active track following my face as I walk around. Even if I get up close, go off to the side, no matter what I do, I stay framed perfectly. So this is great if you don't want your vlog to have just selfie shots. Here's a quick tip for making your shots look more epic. Let's say you want to get more of the scene in the shot. All you got to do is use the wide angle lens adapter, just like that. When you're using this wide angle adapter, straight lines will look distorted and curved, just like this bamboo that I'm leaning on right now. So the way around that is generally just to be further from any straight lines that would be in your shot, such as buildings or poles. And you can correct lens distortion in post to some degree, like I'm doing here, but it introduces other distortions on the edges. It will stretch things out as they move toward the edges of your frame. So my advice is to use the wide-angle lens like a creative tool and use its distortions to your advantage to create interesting perspectives. Here's a tip for dealing with harsh highlight blowouts. So whenever you're shooting with a digital sensor, your highlights are going to blow out in kind of an unnatural, not very filmic way. So you see there's a lot of bright stuff behind me that's getting overexposed because it's just too bright for the sensor to handle. Well, DJI has included a black mist filter with the Pocket 3, and I'm about to drop that on and you'll see what it does. Okay, now the filter is on, and what it should be doing is feathering out those highlights a bit, adding a bit of glow around them so they look a little bit softer overall. So then if you're shooting at night and you have a lot of bright stuff in the background of your shot, it won't look so harshly clipped. It will look a bit more natural, a bit more filmic. To some degree, this black mist filter should also soften my skin and make me look a little prettier. So you can be the judge. This is with the filter. And now here's without the filter. I am all done here. If you want to learn more about the DJI Pocket 3, the link is in the description. Otherwise, I want to thank DJI for sponsoring the video, and I'll see you in the next one.